Hello, this is Matthew Sensei 666, and today I'm going to be doing a MOC review because why not? I haven't done one of those in centuries. I think my last MOC review was my review of my older version of my custom version of Pterodax, but that was centuries ago. That was before even I think it was before even Cosmic Panda took place on YouTube, but blah, whatever. Anyway, today's MOC review is going to be one of my oldest and most extensively modified MOCs, and it is Makuta Malkovich. Let's have a closer look at him. So yeah, this is Makuta Malkovich. He has a lot of history. As I said earlier, he is one of my oldest creations, and he's also my most extensively modified creation. I keep constantly tweaking him just to try and get him better, because he is one of my favourite creations, hence why I haven't demolished him yet, and hence why I'm constantly trying to make him better. So this is his current design. I'll just give him a quick spin. He's wearing a cloak. Oh, anyway. I'm going to give him a basic version of his backstory. I haven't written a wiki page on him yet, but when I do, that's going to have a more complex version of his backstory. This is basically his backstory in a nutshell. Well, obviously, as his name suggests, he's a Makuta, and he fought in a massive war against the Toa and Makuta, and many of his friends and family were killed in that war. And he was very, very badly injured. He was pretty much on the verge of death. So Bloodtide came along. I don't have Bloodtide here, so I can't just bring him down and make him go, "Hello everyone, I'm Bloodtide!" But anyway, Bloodtide, being a mad scientist like he is, decided to try and reconstruct Malkovich, giving him a body that's entirely mechanical. But Malkovich made one last request. He requested for Bloodtide to remove the parts of his brain which control his emotions, replacing them with an advanced system of AIs and computers and stuff like that. So he wanted to deal with his grief over losing all his friends and family in the most efficient way possible, by getting rid of any emotions so he no longer feels anything for his family. But anyway, he is a member of the Alliance of Traitors, and as such he has a alias which he goes by, which is the Wolf. He is the Wolf. And also he represents an emotion which all the members of the Alliance of Traitors represent one specific emotion. It's either related to their personality, their abilities, or even why they exist in the first place. In this case, the emotion that Malkovich represents is the reason why he exists: grief. And as for his alias, the Wolf, it pretty much goes to say that his exoskeleton is supposed to resemble some kind of wolf, because he has the ability to transform. At least in this latest version, he can transform. In his current state, he looks like a combination of some kind of werewolf reptile with some General Grievous mixed in. I swear that's not intentional. I did not intend to make him look kind of like General Grievous, but it just so happens he looks like General Grievous. In his old designs, he was basically just a Toa Hordika body. I gave him a Vaki head, and also I gave him a bunch of gimmicks. A lot of gimmicks. Originally he was my gimmick guy. I remember he had a shoulder-mounted Naira Ghost Blaster. He had the Kanoka Disc Launcher, because as I mentioned earlier, he used to have a Vaki head. He had the Ratuka Spinner, sorry my words are failing me, which he still has, by the way. I decided to keep the Ratuka Spinner because I don't have a lot of Ratuka Spinners, and I really wanted to use the Ratuka Spinner. So yeah, it just sort of opens like that. He has a place for his ripcord on one of these things on his back. So yeah, he has the Ratuka spinner. So yeah, he had a lot of gimmicks. So he was pretty much the heavy weapons guy of the Alliance of Traitors. But I decided to change that and just made him into like a freaking cyborg wolf thing. That aside, as I mentioned earlier, he can transform. So I'm going to attempt to transform him. I'm just going to remove his cloak because in his wolf form he kind of doesn't have a cloak because yeah. Because yeah. That's my reason why he shouldn't be wearing a cloak. So there's his cloak. Discard that. I might as well give him another spin because you didn't get to see what his back looks like. You can see his tail with the Hero Factory pieces. But now let's transform him. So to transform Makuta Malkovich, what we need to do is first we need to remove this sword and place it up here on one of his pylon things. Then next I'll just get rid of this now so it's out of the way, the Ratuka spinner. Then what we do is we take his arms, which are kind of a combination of Hero Factory pieces. Oh no, I'll try and give a close-up view of it so you can see how it's kind of put together. See, it's like got a Burrock foot. It's like one of those Hero Factory limbs with a bunch of crap put on it. So anyway, what you do is you fold his hand up like so it kind of goes in between the two points on the Burrock foot. Then you flip that around. Then you do the same to the other one. It's a very simplistic transformation, but it does give a whole lot of playability to this character. Then what we need to do now is we just flip these round because I prefer them like that when he's in wolf mode. Then we take these parts on his leg, flip them around, and his foot goes that way. Do the same to the other. Then I'm going to try and get him to crawl on all fours. There's not much to this transformation, but yeah, like I said, it just adds a lot more to the character. Rather than just being another normal guy who walks on two legs and just has a sword and stuff. Come on, all fours. Then what you do after that is you move his tail up, flip his point of his tail around, then you take his Ratuka spinner launcher and just plonk it on there. So yes, I try to make it so the Ratuka spinner functions in both forms because I just think it's a very innovative thing to do if you can actually have a weapon which functions in both forms. So there you have it. This is Makuta Malkovich in his wolf mode. Give him a quick spin. It's a very simple transformation, but it just adds a whole lot more to his character. I mean, he can transform, and basically this mode is usually used for mobility. He can move a lot faster and be more agile in this mode, whereas his other form is his combat mode. Okay, now I've basically showed you his functions, and go away, cloak. Oh wow, I landed right on the bloody chair. Oh well, anyway, I'm going to talk to you about his abilities. As we've discussed, he can transform. Blah, we get that. His other ability is basically his mechanical body is fueled by external energy. He can absorb energy from any electrical appliance ever, pretty much, through these two pylon things on his back. These things absorb energy, be it from some machine or from one of his opponents. Basically the idea is maybe someone like Tahu shoots fire at him, and then basically these pylons basically suck up the fire and it just gets absorbed into him, giving him a massive power boost. And I really should have talked to you about all this crap while he was in combat mode. And then the energy, he can do two things with the energy, well, three things. He can heal himself with it and keep himself alive using energy. He can also focus the energy into his sword. So basically inside the sword, he sort of adjusts the speed and power of the attack, so it basically makes it more difficult to time when to dodge. And basically he fires it back at his opponent, but usually much stronger and much faster. He can also do the same thing with his Ratuka spinner. He basically absorbs the energy again, it travels up his tail and goes to the Ratuka spinner, fills it up with energy, and then kaboom! He launches a massive blast of energy in the form of a Ratuka spinner. I'm not going to launch the Ratuka spinner, by the way, because I can't be asked to get up out of this chair and look for it after I fire it. So yeah, I know I say so yeah a lot, but what can you do? What can you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? So that was Malkovich. His current design is kind of based on Blade Wolf or LQ-84I from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which is a game which I have fallen in love with. I love that game. So I kind of based his design and crap on LQ-84I. And basically his personality as well, because he has no emotions, because he got rid of them all because he wanted to never be weakened by grief ever again, and all that jazz. So that was Malkovich. I'm going to try and release one of these mock reviews every week, depending on how I feel. I'm going to try and do it every Wednesday before I go to work, at least the filming part anyway, because I basically I have half an hour before I have to actually try and get to work right now, so I'm doing fine for myself. Tell me in the comments section what you think of Malkovich. I will do another mock review. I'm basically going to do all the Alliance of Traitors, okay? So yeah, tell me what you think of this guy, whether you like him, what part of him you think is the most cool, stuff like that. He has red toe things on his legs. It's weird. But anyway, I just tried to make him look as mechanical as possible. So yeah, tell me what you think of him. Do you like him? Hate him? Have a meh opinion on him? And I shall see you all next time for the next mock review. I don't know which member of the Alliance of Traitor I shall review next. So, but then again, I have an entire week to decide. So I'll probably do Shadowret, to be fair, because he is my self-mock. So anyway, this has been Magic Sensei 666. This has been the longest outro ever. Signing out and good night.